comes to hip rotation, you need about 45 degrees worth of hip rotation at the point of impact. And the reason why is because in the downswing, your trail arm should move like this, as I'm demonstrating, okay, as I get the club to the back of the ball. And obviously if I do zero rotation, the club's going to end up way under the plane. However, if I can introduce 45 degrees worth of hip rotation, this advances the club back in a straight line, which then means I can square the face. Happy days. So one of the common issues with amateur golfers when it comes to rotation is this sort of movement of the right hip moving forward. So a lot of golfers will have the tendency to try and rotate, and what they do is they move the right hip forward like so. Now this causes an issue because even if someone was to release the right arm correctly, they're always now going to be above plane. It just makes it very difficult to find the club unless they start moving the arm this way, but then you start moving the arm this way and you're going to get quite scoopy. So the question ultimately is, what is it that you're missing? Well, if I quickly grab an alignment stick, 'cause this is something that you can practice quite simply at home, and I place it equally in between my feet like so. If I mimic a golfer who has a tendency to spin, which means the right hip comes forward, what happens is that golfer doesn't move enough towards the left-hand side, okay? Even if I mimic someone who starts the downswing with a left hip back motion, you're still going to get a little bit stuck because now you haven't really got the pelvis rotating. So what you want to be doing as you start the downswing is moving the pelvis in a rotational manner, but it's got to move way more left than you realise. One of the things that I sort of endeavour to do with lots of students I work with is really encourage them to move the pelvis in a rotational manner to the left, because you can see if I now do this arm move accompanied with that rotation, that drops the club on the back of the ball. And the difference from the sidearm perspective is, again, if I sort of demonstrate this right hip forward as opposed to this rotation to the left, you can see the difference, right? This is wrong, this is correct. So the thing you really want to sort of practice when it comes to trying to clear your hips is, yeah, you want to make sure it's rotational, but you don't want it to be this way. It has to move to the left. And that's why I think an alignment stick in between the stance is pretty simple, because you can see the way at the point of impact, my right hip is to the left of the stick. See you soon.